Military discipline lessons from WWII. Before we dive into the core of this discussion, make sure to subscribe to this channel and, leave a comment with your thoughts or experiences. If you're serious about history, war strategy, or survival tactics, this video is designed for you. By the end, you'll not only understand how military discipline shaped some of the most decisive moments of WWII, but also how these lessons can be applied in modern survival scenarios. Discipline isn't just about following orders. It's about creating structure under extreme pressure, and that is a skill that can save lives. Discipline begins with total mental and physical preparation. One of the most striking lessons from WWII is the absolute emphasis on preparation. Armies that trained rigorously, mentally and physically, were often the ones that survived and adapted under fire. Take the Allied forces' rigorous training camps or the German Wehrmacht's meticulous drills. These soldiers weren't just learning how to fire a rifle, they were building reflexive habits to react under extreme stress. The practical takeaway for modern survival or wartime scenarios is clear. Your body and mind must be conditioned to handle chaos. Daily routines of endurance exercises, stress management drills, and even simple mental rehearsals of possible emergencies can give you the edge when real danger strikes. For instance, simulating blackout conditions in your home, practicing quick evacuations, or preparing emergency food caches can train your mind and body to respond instinctively rather than panic. Following orders, precisely, can be the difference between life and death. WWII demonstrated repeatedly that discipline meant following instructions without hesitation, even when the odds seemed insurmountable. During the D-Day invasion, countless soldiers survived only because they adhered strictly to their commander's tactical plans, even under heavy fire. Military discipline isn't blind obedience, it's trust in the structure that allows a group to survive chaos. In practical terms, this principle can be applied today in survival situations. Whether it's executing a well-practiced emergency plan, navigating unfamiliar terrain, or working as part of a team to fortify a shelter, the discipline to follow established procedures can mean the difference between success and catastrophe. Developing a checklist system, running drills, and maintaining clear communication are concrete ways to apply this lesson. Discipline requires resilience under sustained pressure. The prolonged and exhausting battles of the Second World War, from Stalingrad all the way to the Pacific Islands, taught soldiers that discipline extended beyond initial training. It was, in fact, a daily test of endurance and resilience. Soldiers were conditioned to carry on even when hunger, fatigue, or fear threatened to overwhelm them. For survivalists, the lesson here is to cultivate the same mental resilience. Long-term preparedness is really about building habits that withstand stress over days or even weeks. Start perhaps by implementing routines that simulate prolonged hardship, extended hikes with weighted packs, controlled fasting, or rotating roles in group survival exercises. These methods teach patience, resourcefulness, and the ability to make rational decisions under exhaustion, skills directly drawn from wartime experience. Now, attention to detail can prevent catastrophic mistakes. One of the defining characteristics of Second World War military discipline was, without a doubt, the emphasis on meticulous attention to detail. From maintaining weapons to following precise maps and supply orders, errors could, and often did, lead to deadly consequences. The Japanese military, for example, excelled in detailed planning and coordination, which often gave them the upper hand early in the war. For survival enthusiasts, this really translates into rigorous preparation of equipment, understanding your environment, and double-checking every aspect of a plan. Maintaining your gear, documenting routes, or pre-packing emergency kits with redundancies mirrors this lesson. In practice, you might develop a personal checklist for bug-out scenarios or rehearse a sequence of actions to ensure no step is overlooked during an emergency. Accountability and leadership enforce discipline across the group. Second World War armies relied on a chain of command, where each individual's responsibility reinforced the group's overall discipline. Leaders were trained not just to give orders, but to instill confidence and accountability within their units. In a survival context, understanding this principle can honestly transform small groups into cohesive units capable of handling crises, establish clear roles, hold each member accountable, and rotate leadership responsibilities to strengthen the group's resilience. For instance, assign one person to monitor supplies, another to maintain security, and rotate responsibilities regularly to ensure everyone is prepared to lead if necessary. Adaptation and flexibility are disciplined responses to unexpected situations. Military discipline in the Second World War wasn't rigid. It required flexibility and rapid adaptation. Units that could adjust plans in response to shifting circumstances survived far more often than those stuck in rigid protocols. This is particularly evident in guerrilla campaigns or naval engagements, where adaptability became a true survival skill. Translating this to survival preparation, you must cultivate the discipline to follow plans while also knowing when to pivot. Conduct scenario-based exercises where conditions change unexpectedly, forcing you to think on your feet. Developing multiple contingency plans, understanding alternate routes, and learning basic improvisational skills are all practical ways to integrate this lesson. Reflection and learning from mistakes strengthen discipline. Finally, disciplined militaries in the Second World War constantly analyzed failures to improve performance. After-action reviews were routine, and mistakes became learning opportunities rather than reasons for punishment alone. This principle is, without question, invaluable for survival training. Keeping a journal of exercises, evaluating decisions under pressure, and debriefing with your team allows you to refine your approach and build long-term competence. Practically, after every drill, reflect on what went wrong, what could be improved, and how to implement changes for the next scenario. This habit transforms ordinary preparedness into a continuously evolving skill set. And in conclusion, military discipline lessons from the Second World War are far more than historical curiosities. They are practical tools for anyone serious about survival and resilience. From rigorous preparation to meticulous attention to detail, mental endurance, and adaptable leadership, these lessons offer a roadmap to surviving extreme conditions with skill and confidence. Implementing these principles in your daily routine, survival training, and team coordination can, honestly, elevate your readiness to a level that few achieve. If you found these insights valuable, make sure to subscribe to the channel, comment with your thoughts, and share this guide with fellow history enthusiasts or survivalists. By integrating these timeless lessons from the Second World War into your own life, you're not just studying history, you're preparing to survive it.